Here I have the MagBak Elite cases for the iPhone 17 Pro Max in the black color and then also in the beige color. I'll be showing off the different accent packs as well, so you can change your buttons to different colors and different side pieces. I have done reviews of these before for the 16 Pro Max, but with the design changes of the 17 Pro Max, I want to see how these cases have changed as well. You have the bigger camera plateau here on the 17 Pro Max, so MagBak had to move the kickstand from the top piece down here to the bottom. You have a lot bigger of a kickstand and it just opens up with one click compared to the 2 clicks on the old version. And then you have the magnet to push it back in place. When you have it open, however, you can use it in landscape mode or portrait mode, depending if you're doing FaceTime calls or you're watching videos, you have that option to do so. The other thing I want to mention is the fact that because it's heavier in portrait mode when it's upright, I have an issue where it kind of tips over a little bit. So you have to make sure that you're on an even surface when using the portrait mode, while on landscape, you can use it anywhere and it works perfectly fine. So it's really neat that you have it built in here to the case. You can just go ahead and close it and then you always have it flush right there. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be the finger loop on the back. So this is always on the case as well. You can use it, put your finger in it and hold your phone a lot easier this way. Instead of getting a MagSafe accessory that has that finger loop here, you can always push it back in on the bottom and the top and then you have it right there. I always wonder if case manufacturers are gonna make their cases a lot more comfortable on the pinky part. I hold my phone like this, especially with the bigger phones like the 17 Pro Max. So it's really neat that you have this soft cushioning here for your pinky. I do want to mention that on the old version, you had to really push it back in place to get it perfect. However, this one, even if you were to open it and use the port, it's really easy to go ahead and push it back in and it's perfectly flush like it was when you first bought it. The most popular feature here for the MagBak cases is going to be your magnets. So these magnets here are a lot stronger than what you would find on other cases that just have the MagSafe ring and the alignment magnet. But when using a MagSafe accessory, you will notice how much stronger these magnets are compared to the traditional ones. So when I put this on a MagSafe charger, I have no issues with picking up the entire charger when I pick up the phone. So these magnets are really strong. And then you might notice that there's 2 lines here. Well, those are going to be your telescoping magnets. So the telescoping magnets are a little bit different. So what happens is when you go close to metal that can magnetically attach, you will see that these magnets are coming out of the case. And because they are telescoping, they adjust according to the way you put this on the surface. So it's really neat that you have this built in here. You can put it on your fridge. You can put it on different gym equipment. Just depends on how you want to use these magnets here. But it's really neat that they designed it where you have the telescoping magnets built into the case as well. So the case is full of a lot of features that you don't traditionally get on different cases. Now I want to move over to the buttons. So these buttons are updated now to have metal buttons, which are also replaceable with different colors from different accessory packs. So that's pretty neat here. And you have it on the power button and then you have it on the volume up and down rocker and action button. So let's go ahead and hear the clicks here. They're really clicky, so you won't have an issue with using these buttons whatsoever. Moving over to the camera control is built into the case here. You can go ahead and press it to open up your camera app and then do your different gestures that you want to do within the app as well. So it's great that they have it built in right into the case and you don't have to worry about taking your phone out if you want to use the camera control. The grip of the case is really good. You have these little pieces here that you can switch out to different colors and you have it on both sides. A little bit longer on the left side than what you would find on the right side due to the camera control in the way here, but this adds a perfect grip when you want to hold this in your hand and not worry about dropping this thing. So it's really neat that you have the option to change these colors, and then it's also built into the sides here for that better grip. On the bottom, you have the microphone and speaker holes, and then once you remove the pinky pillow, you'll have the USB-C port exposed, and it's big enough to accommodate different types of cables, which is really good as well. They didn't make it too small because in a case like this, you would have to take the case off every single time to use a different cable. That's not the case here. You can use any of your cables that you want that are a little bit bigger as well than the standard Apple one. The next thing is the lanyard holes here. You have lanyard holes on both sides, so you can put a lanyard on the left or on the right, depending on how you want to use it or not use it at all. But it's neat that you have that option here on both sides. The cases do come in these nice boxes here. You'll see that it's a lot different than what you'll find on other cases, which is pretty neat, honestly. but there's an additional feature here. So the box is meant to be used as a template guide to go ahead and install a screen protector that's built into the case. So you have the template here, you put your phone down here, and then you can install this screen protector if you want to, if you don't already have one. So it's nice that you have another one here that comes with the case itself, and it's meant to work perfect with these cases. So here is the screen lip all around the device. You have it perfect around the screen, so you don't have to worry about ever messing up your screen and being not protected. But you also have a gap underneath this lip here, and you might be wondering, why is the gap bigger than other cases you might have seen? The reason to that is because if you use their screen protector, it will go all the way underneath the gap, and you will have no edges for that screen protector when you're doing different gestures. So the screen lip will be protecting the screen protector and the actual screen, which is really neat on how they designed this. The case might work with other screen protectors as well. I haven't tested it myself to let you know which ones actually work and which ones don't, but I think that some of them should work if they go underneath the lip where you won't feel them as well. There's an opening here on the top for your speaker, which is really neat. And I've seen other cases do this for the 17 Pro Max, but it just shows a little bit color of the device underneath there. So have that in mind as well when choosing the case color to match with your iPhone, since you're gonna see some of that aluminum here on the top portion. If one thing can be improved on this case, I think it is this camera ring. So this camera ring is perfectly fine. However, I've noticed a few times where it isn't. So when you put the phone inside the case, you have to make sure you don't press on the camera ring because it might snap out of place and you have to realign it. When it's on the phone, it's not perfectly snug around the camera plateau. It kind of wiggles. And then when removing the iPhone from the case, you have to make sure you don't press on the camera bump because then it just comes right off. And when it comes right off, you have to realign it back in place. And I think that it's a little bit too loose. Maybe if they were to change the way it locks in place, it would be a lot better. Not that big of a deal, but definitely a place for improvement if they can on future generations of this case. Now I want to talk about the accent packs. So I'm going to show you here the gray one because that's my favorite one. You have the Pro Max and the Pro camera ring here inside this pack. So go ahead and take out the one that you use for your case. So for example, mine's gonna be the Pro Max. And then you have this little other accessory pack where it's gonna have your buttons, your finger loop, and the different side pieces here. So that's really neat that you have all of these options. So then go ahead and take them out. Changing it is really easy. Go ahead and take off the old pieces. Let's start off with the camera ring, comes right off. And then you can go ahead and put in your new camera ring here. Make sure you align the correct parts of this ring. So the shorter part is gonna be on the bottom, then the top portion. So once it's aligned, it's gonna snap right into place. And then you have your new camera ring. Then you wanna take out the finger loop here, go ahead and pull it out. And then you put in the new one the exact same way. The longer piece on the bottom, once you have it in place, and then you put the shorter piece on the top. So you have that in place now. Now let's switch out the power button. Go ahead and push from the outside in. And then once you do that, it's gonna snap right out of place. And then once it's out, go ahead and take your new power button, which is gonna be this gray metal one here, and go ahead and push it back into place. And then you have a new button here, which is going to be also metal. So it's pretty neat that you can mix and match different colors. You don't have to use all the same colors. So it's pretty neat that you can change all of these little pieces here depending on how you want to do it. For me, I have the red pack, the green pack as well. So those are also options if you want to switch those out. And it just takes a little bit of time to switch out all the components, but of course you're customizing it to make this case more like it's yours. For cases, it's really important on the drop protection if you're getting some bigger cases like these, and you have to make sure that you're getting something that's protecting your device. These are rated for really good drop protection from 6 feet. They've been tested out, so you shouldn't have any problems with the iPhone damaging underneath. The case does have a more squared off design because of these bumps here on each corner, so those should be able to absorb the impact if they were to fall on a different corner. So it's great that they have these built in here with this case. You might be wondering what these magnets are for inside the box of the case. Well, this is going to be your mag stick. You can put this anywhere by removing 3M tape and then just mounting it, for example, in your car or on a desk. And then you can go ahead and attach your phone case directly to the mag stick in any of the 4 locations. So the left, the right, the bottom, or the top. And it's pretty neat that you can do that with this case. So you can add it to your dashboard of your car and have your phone propped up through this method. You can buy more of these from MagBak themselves, and you can have more mounting locations around when you have your case installed on your phone. Here I want to show you how these magnets are telescoping. So go ahead and take your mag stick, and then you'll start seeing that the magnets move outwards when you're using the mag stick because they are telescoping. So it's pretty neat that they've incorporated this within the case by design, and I think that it really helps with attaching this to surfaces that are magnetic. I've noticed two differences between both of these. So the first one being this black case here has a lot of fingerprints and smudges on the back of it compared to the beige version. The beige version shows a lot less, while this one you kind of have to keep it clean all the time to make it look new and not have so much fingerprints and smudges. So the beige one is better in that aspect, but I think for the black version with the silver 17 Pro Max, it looks best for design. The other thing I want to mention about the beige one is that you have these little pieces here where you can notice on each corner how the case has been put together from different parts. And it's really noticeable on the beige version, but not noticeable as much on the black version. The black version, they're still there, but they just kind of flow with the case color and you don't notice it as much. So that's also something you should know when choosing between both of these colors. I think these cases having all these features really make them worth the money because you have these features built in like the finger loop, the pinky pillow, the magnets, and your kickstand right inside the case without using up your MagSafe ring for other accessories. And then of course you have to buy a case and then the other accessories separately, while this one has all of them built in right into the case. I'll leave links to these in the description below so you can check them out for yourself. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Zanif Tech is out.